Diamonds in the rough. NFL Draft Diamonds. Time to shine.
Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and today I have with me Calvin Turner Jr. He's a wide receiver slash running back slash whatever you want to call him. He's a great athlete out of Hawaii. So nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you too, Jimmy.
So yeah, like I was saying, guy who's pretty much played almost every position on the field. Formerly actually of Jacksonville University. So you did eventually make your way out there to Hawaii. Give us kind of a brief summary of you, if you don't mind. Tell me maybe where you're from, and just kind of walk us through a little bit about how you got there to Hawaii.
Okay, I'm originally from Savannah, Georgia. I was born and raised there. Grew up playing all type of sports. Out of high school, I wasn't highly recruited. Jacksonville University was my only opportunity to go to school. Coach Ian Shields and his staff recruited me there. The school was non-scholarship. The Senate Conference called the Pioneer League, so it's a non-scholarship conference. So they don't give out football scholarships. They only give out academic things and things like that. So I think maybe 99% of the players on my team were all paying for school, including me. So my first 3 seasons I played there, played my first year at corner, started every game, and then I moved to quarterback, started there too. And then the program shut down after my third season at Jacksonville University. So once the program shut down, I had to enter the transfer portal, and because I knew I wanted to continue my career. And my coach Ian Shields, he reached out to Nick Rolovich, the head coach at the time of Hawaii, sent him my film, told him all about me, and Coach Rolovich was very excited about me. He ended up recruiting me there. I committed to Hawaii. I get there, my first week there, Coach Rolovich leaves. He goes to Washington State. So then we get Todd Graham, and Todd Graham was my coach over the 2 years, and he kind of just used me everywhere offensively for the University of Hawaii. I played a little bit of running back, receiver, wildcat QB, kick return, punt return. So played a little bit of everything in my 2 years at Hawaii.
So yeah, man, you've had one heck of a journey there. A lot of things going on. Very interesting athlete when you look at a guy like you. Like you said, started off defensive back, eventually made the start at quarterback. I know 2019 was a very good year for you at Jacksonville, and ran for almost 1,400 yards as an option quarterback, which is a fantastic thing. Of 15 touchdowns on the ground there, so an awesome year in 2019. But as you had mentioned, uh, they decided to shut down that football program. So, what was going through your mind when you heard that news, man?
Well, it was a sad moment for me because you you you've been playing with these guys for like 2 to 3 years, some of the guys, and they become brothers now, and now you have to leave that situation. And I felt like I did enough to like continue my football career, but I know that there was some guys on my team who had played their last snap of college football ever, and they didn't even get the chance to know that it was coming or anything like that. So I just felt sorry for like a lot of my teammates because a lot of them didn't continue to play football, which was something they love to do. So that was the sad thing about it, was that I knew that a lot of my teammates, all of my guys were playing their last snap of football. So it was just a sad moment for that. But then things kind of changed up for me, and I started to talk to schools and talk to different teams and things like that. So it was probably uh, one of the best things that ever happened to me. Honestly, it was a sad moment, but it ended up coming out for the best for me, and turned out for the best for me.
Yeah, again, ended up going out to Hawaii and playing for Hawaii. So a little bit of a change there, coming from a guy from Savannah, Georgia, going way out west to the Hawaiian Islands. What sort of culture clash are we looking at with that whole experience there?
I feel like it wasn't no clash. I feel like I went out there, and I what you call I became one of them. They supported me. They brought me in, and they treated me like family from day one. So I feel like I got a lot of guys out there in Hawaii that I'm definitely going to go back and visit, going to go back and see and things like that. And I feel like the people of Hawaii, they just all about family. And once you become a part of their family, your family forever. So I know that when I do take my time to the next level, that I will be supporting. Not only will I be having support from my family, I will have support from the whole state of Hawaii, and I will be representing them too in my journey that I continue because I know for a fact that they're going to be supporting me for the rest of my football career.
Yeah, so obviously we have an athlete here that does have the potential to get drafted. I do have you listed on our board somewhere as a guy that might hear his name called, but we don't know what position, dude. So I mean, you've played a little bit of everywhere. Do you feel like that's to your advantage? I mean, can you maybe chat a little bit about you as a prospect going into the league?
Yeah, most definitely. I feel like it has helped me a lot, but I feel like a lot of teams can see it as something that can hurt me or something that is very useful because a lot of teams want someone who could come in and play multiple positions and do multiple things because it just helps diversify their offense. But then there's some teams who look at me and be like, okay, this guy does not have a primary position. He really played all over the place. He doesn't specialize in this or that. But in my opinion, I feel like I can play running back at a high level. I can play receiver at a high level. I could do either one, and whatever team wants me to play, I feel like I can go in and do that at a high level. They want to play both or just one, I feel like I can do both. So it definitely has. I feel like it has helped me a lot, and I feel like I will go to a team who wants to use my ability in that way.
I mean, I do feel like your versatility is probably one of the best things you got going for you. I mean, a guy who can go out there, like you said, running back, wide receiver, whatever. I know you're a really good special teams player as well. Chat about your experience there on special teams.
Actually, my special team stuff started at Jacksonville. My freshman year when I was playing corner, I became the starting kick returner like about halfway through the season. So and then when I moved to Hawaii, my first year there, I was the kick returner. I returned two kicks that year, but for touchdowns, but one of them I called back, and then the other one was versus Houston in the bowl game. And then this past year, I played punt return too. So just having those things under my belt and being able to just make plays in space, I feel my best part of my game is to when I get the ball in space and make plays, and that's all special teams is kick return, punt returns, is just getting the ball in space and making the play. So I feel like that's a big help for me, and I feel like that's something that comes natural to me. Just being in those situations like that.
I mean, I'm gonna be real with you. Like, it's very hard for me to look into the league right now and find a guy with your overall skill set that can do all the things that you can do. Whether it be wildcat quarterback or some of those other things that you talked about. I mean, um, who are you paying attention to at the league? Who are you trying to study? Is there a person that maybe you would compare your game to?
I feel like there's no one I really compare myself to. I just look at the best players in each position and I try to take characteristics from them and implement it to my game. But I feel like the people who probably will play like me the most right now is probably Debo Samuel and Taysom Hill. Those are guys that are used all over the field. Taysom Hill plays tight end, receiver, running back, quarterback. He even returned kicks, I think, 2 years ago. And then Debo Samuel played a lot of receiver this year and played a little bit of running back, and he played a little bit of kick return too when they needed him to. So those are two guys that I feel like are the most similar in the skill sets. And Cordell Patterson, another guy like him. Cordell Patterson is another guy. But I just watch all of the best guys like Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, Odell Beckham, Justin Jefferson. I watch those guys and I take their receiving stuff. Then I watch guys like Alvin Kamara and Christian McCaffrey and Dalvin Cook in the backfield, and I take stuff from their game to implement in mine. So I can just be the best overall guy I can be and be the best overall player I can be.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a great athlete. I did write down the name Debo Samuel's in my notes just in case. I mean, obviously that is a little bit of a lofty goal. I mean, you have this one guy who's very sought after right now. We don't even know what's happening to him. But another guy that came to mind for me, and I don't know if you would compare yourself to him per se, is Julian Edelman. He was an option guy for Kent State. Really fantastic guy, but I mean, obviously, when he got to the league, wasn't going to be playing
Quarterback.
quarterback, and so he ends up transitioning to wide receiver and doing a great job, throughout his career. So, who knows what we're going to get? I mean, man, it's all going to depend on what teams want out of you. But uh, you obviously put together a solid career and ended up getting an invite to the East West Shrine Bowl. So talk about your experience there, if you don't mind.
That was a great experience just to be able to go out and compete for some of the other best players in the country that are seniors. So just going out and competing against those guys for a whole week straight, and then meeting all those NFL teams, all those NFL scouts there. Um, all 32 were there, and it was just a great experience in general, just to be there and just be go out there and perform in front of everybody. I feel like I had a pretty good week. I did really good, and I felt like I performed at a really good level, and I feel like I helped myself out throughout that week.
Did you play like all the other positions, like while you were out there? Did they ask you to play returner and running back and receiver?
Well, and in the game, I just played receiver. I played a little bit. When most of the week, I played outside and inside receiver. But throughout the week, in practice and stuff, I did little bit of kick return, caught some punts, caught some kick returns, and played a little bit of running back too.
Nice. And what about when you actually sat down and talked to these NFL scouts, man, sitting in those interviews? I mean, how did those go overall?
I feel like it went really well. So a lot of teams knew who I was already, and knew my skill set, and I felt like a lot of teams were excited about my skill set and that I can do so many things, and that really like that's when I knew the moment was like, okay, I really can go out to the next level and play because these teams they have a lot of interest in me and things like that. So, and I feel like my versatility was the thing that put myself higher than a lot of other guys.
Yeah, so you finish up there, and then eventually comes your pro day, which you knock your pro day out of the park with it with a lot of great numbers. About 4.4, 840, 19 reps on the bench, which I think is solid for a guy your size. 7.143 cone, 38.5 vert, and 10.3 broad jump. So some solid numbers there overall. How do you think you did at your pro day?
I feel like I did really well because talking to scouts afterwards, I feel like a lot of people wasn't didn't think I was gonna be as fast as I was. They didn't think I was gonna run 4.48. They thought more of like a high 4.5, 4.6 guy. So I feel like I surprised everyone. They didn't know I was gonna test that well. So I feel like me going out there and doing and killing the pro day was really big for me because it helped me out a lot because it showed that I have the athleticism to play at the next level and the athleticism to be really good athlete. So I feel like I did really good, and I feel like those numbers really helped me out throughout this process.
Great. So again, solid pro day, East West Shrine Game participant, a great career at Hawaii and Jacksonville University. What's going to stick out for you when you look at your collegiate career as a whole? Like, is there a game or a play or something that you want to share?
Probably I had a catch in the fourth quarter of the Fresno State game. They were ranked number 18 at the time, and it was the touchdown to put us ahead by 4. So it was in the fourth quarter. I think maybe like a minute left or something like that. And I caught this slot fade in like the red zone over a guy, and that's probably the best play of my career and the play that I'd be most memorable because that was a touchdown that helped us beat the number 18 ranked team in the country. And at the time we didn't beat a ranked team in I think 10 years. So it was really like a really special moment, and it was at a home game, and it was just a really special moment.
I know one of the best games for you really was the previous season. That being the very last game, the bowl game that you guys had in 2020 against Houston. So I think you chatted about that a little earlier. Talk about that game if you don't mind. I mean, again, a guy who really contributed on in so many levels.
I honestly feel like that might be the best game of my college career. And it definitely showed all of my versatility. That game, I had a good amount of yards rushing. I had a long touchdown catch. I had a long kick return touchdown. So I feel like that game, if you want to know who I am and to see my versatility and know, I feel like that's the game that for scouts to go watch and or anyone, any fans, anything who wants to know more about me, that's the game that they should go watch because that game just showed me in every aspect of the game and the passing game and the receiving game and the rushing game and in the kick return game.
Yeah, 252 all-purpose yards in that game. I had to look that one up, but again, a great guy who can contribute in so many different ways. So love that about you as a prospect. I mean, again, I think that that's one of the best things you got going for you. Um, Calvin, you've had one heck of a journey in college. A lot of people really, I guess, contributing to you and your success. A lot of coaches. With all of the people that have poured into you over the years, is there maybe one lesson from one of those coaches that still sticks with you today?
Well, I want to say, well, I would say it was a lesson I learned not only from my coaches but from my family too. Was hard work is beat everything. As long as you continue to work hard and you outwork everyone else, it would eventually show up one day, and all that hard work will pay off sooner or later. Sometimes it take a little bit longer for some people, but as long as you put your head down and work, everything will be okay.
Good, solid advice there. So, um, uh, real quick, do want to give a shout out to some guys that maybe you have played with. Who there during your time at Hawaii has impressed you the most?
I would say two guys. They both are still in college. But they both did transfer and leave Hawaii. One is Darius Musaw. He plays linebacker. He just transferred to UCLA. And Corey Bethley. He is a safety who just transferred to Arizona State. Those two guys are definitely some ballers, and I can't wait to continue to watch their journey and continue to see them grow as players.
Nice. Do appreciate the heads up there. Kind of already knew a little bit about Bethlehem, but it's okay. I mean, you got to give a shout out to some of your boys for real. So appreciate that. Um, let's meet Calvin Turner Jr. outside of this game. I am just kind of curious about you. So tell me something about you, maybe interesting, fun, unique, special. Hobbies, interests, or passions you got in your life. So go for it.
Well, I would say outside of football, I love to bowl and play basketball. I feel like those are my two hobbies is to play a little bit of basketball and to bowl. So that's the biggest thing for me outside of football is those two things. Those things I really love to do.
Interesting. So when you say you're a bowler, how good of a bowler are you? You have like an average or something that
When I used to bowl all the time, I used to be around 190, 200 a game. Now, since I don't bowl as often, maybe when I go in, I'd be like anywhere from like 130 to 160.
gotcha. Well, at least you're not like me rolling gutter balls, needing the you know, uh, the kid, the stuff for the lanes, like
The
needing
bumpers.
the bumpers. But it's all good. Anything else about you want to share? I mean, I know you're from the Savannah, Georgia area, so tell me about your hometown.
Well, Savannah is very historic. We have a lot of tourists who come every year because it's so historic. You have the city squares in downtown Savannah, and they were like made by like the first people to come to America and things like that. So it's very historic. It's people got ghost stories, haunted stories, and stuff like that. But people love Savannah. It's a beautiful place, a nice historic place, and we have like I think the second we have like a top three largest St. Patrick's Day parade in Savannah. So
Sweet.
definitely a great place to come visit, and I feel like a lot of people should come and check it out.
So if I were to come visit you there in Savannah, where would we have to go? What would we have to do? Like, is there like a like some place there, maybe a restaurant, like we got to hit up or something?
I wouldn't say restaurant, but I would say anywhere in downtown Savannah, you go eat down there. In downtown Savannah, River Street, you can walk the squares, you can walk down the river and things like that. So I feel like that's the place to go. It's a lot of great restaurants and a lot of great bars and a lot of great candy stores, all type of things down there. So definitely the place to go downtown Savannah.
Cool. Anything else about you you want to share? Any of your favorites or any part of your personal life that you're willing to share?
I feel like that's it. I mean, I'm getting married next year, March. That's a big thing, a big accomplishment for me.
It's awesome.
So I feel like that's the most important thing in my life right now.
Nice. Definitely keep the lady first. So that's the advice there. So and always listen to her because she's right. So um, well, hey Calvin, nice to sit down and meet you. I do want to give you one last opportunity, and we do know that there are scouts that will watch these videos. And I want you to kind of address those scouts right now. Tell them why they need to draft you, sign you, and bring you into their franchise. So go ahead and hit them with that.
Well, I would say I'm the most versatile player in the draft this year. I can do a little bit of everything. Whatever you need me to do, I can do at a high level. Running back, receiver, wildcat QB, kick return, punt return. So I feel like my versatility is the big part of my game, and me making people miss in the open field. That's the best thing of my game. So if you need someone that you can put into space in any position and make people miss and score a lot of big plays and things like that, I'm the guy for you.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a quality athlete who knows how to get open, has good hands, does well at taking some rushes out of the backfield as well as being moved around a little bit as a wide receiver, guy there on special teams as well. So again, like you said, I mean, uh, going to be a guy who can contribute really day one for any franchise. So do wish you best of luck in this process, man. I know it's a bit of a headache for some, but I think a lot of teams are going to be interested in you, and you probably going to hear your name called before the end of the draft. All right.
Hopefully so.
Gotcha. Once again, I have with me Calvin Turner Jr., athlete out of Hawaii. So definitely check him out.